What is going on, guys? This is Brothers All Gaming with my final review of Danganronpa episode 13. And man, what a final episode this was. I want to start by saying I love this anime. I gotta say, besides Attack on Titan, for this season of anime, this right here was definitely my favorite one. I'm so glad that I reviewed this series for you guys because I really love Danganronpa. And it was just great. I was so shocked to see that Junko was the mastermind. But I gotta say, in this episode, she kind of freaked me out some because she had all these multiple personalities because she get bored really easily. So she kind of like Fuuka, genocider, but she's a lot worse because she has multiple, sides of her, except for just have like another side like Fuuka does. So right after we learned that she's the mastermind, she actually, shed some light on the situation of the world, and we see that this place is a wreck. And apparently, Mono Bear, I have no idea who he is, but maybe Junko did, because apparently, like he like a mascot now. Because in that video that she showed everybody of how the outside world looked like, we saw that they were like pyramids, famous sculptures that were all in the shape of Mono Bear, and we saw people that were going around vandalizing stuff in a Mono Bear mask. So there was some incident that she never told us what happened, but it was the worst incident in the world. It was like worse than any man-made disaster or hurricane or stuff like that. It was much worse. So I am wondering like what that was. I'm kind of mad that we didn't learn what that was, but overall, Junko, Mono Bear, whoever Mono Bear, he's a freaking genius. And Junko was lucky, that she had worked with him. And we learned that Togami, his family, that were like so powerful that they ruled the world. They have now been destroyed. So his family is probably dead out there. So Junko, like eventually, she was trying to get everybody to gang up on Nagi because they said that if they killed him, then they could all live there peacefully. And of course, Nagi wasn't going to have that because we could see that like what they saw and what Junko was telling them, it was just bringing them down because she actually lives up to her title. Like she really is a person of despair because she was trying to make them feel like that. And I was actually really surprised that even Kuguri, she even thought about like betraying Nagi once more. And I also gotta say, I did like the fact that Gino Scheider, that she actually knew about that. Like she knew about the incident somewhat about how the world got like that, but she didn't know what actually caused it. And to me, that was kind of interesting. And I was really shocked to see that they were all living together for like 2 years before this all started. And I'm also wondering, like, how in the world did Junko take away, some of their memories? Because I'm really hoping that they would have explained that, and I'm not sure how. But it is nice to see that Kuguri's father, who was the principal, for all of this, I am glad to see that he actually, in the end, managed, to help them out so that they could, escape this place. But originally, this school, it was going to be a shelter for them, like for survivors, because not everybody in the world we're going to become evil or tainted or whatever you want to, like however you want to put it. Not everybody was going to be like that, so that school became a shelter. And the ones that like had made it so that nobody could get out, it was the students themselves. And Junko and her sister, or mainly with Junko, she had she had to actually sneak in there, and that's when she kind of started work on this plan. And I was like really shocked for her to talk so badly about her sister because she even called her worthless and useless. And this is the sister that even took her place. So for her to go that far and bash her like that, it was really surprising to see like that side of her. But then again, this is like the mastermind here, so I'm pretty sure that she's not going to care. And apparently, like the world outside, it's like kind of like poisonous because of the air, and apparently her life signs were actually tied to the purifier. So if she dies, then that polluted air would have came in there, and that would start killing them. Now I kind of want to call BS on that, just because after she died, they had no problem at all, unless they don't show problems with that till later on. But when they finally got her, they had no problems at all. And speaking of that, just when you think everybody was going to betray Nagi, that's when he really shined, because he really is hope, because he never gave up and he stuck to his gut. And I am so glad that he was able to inspire them all, because they were all, acting like that, except for Genocider. Because once Nagi had talked to Togami, and he was going to stand by him, there was no need to mess with Genocider, because she was going to follow Togami no matter what. So it is nice to see that they all were able, to stand together and go against Junko. And I definitely like how that hope bullet just shot right into her. Like, overall, this episode, it was definitely the best. Like, even though the final one, it was the best. I loved it. So now that Junko had lost, she had to go through every death that everyone that was guilty of, had to go through. So she got hit by 1,000 baseballs like Leon did. She had gotten in that she got in that spear, like, what's the name? I believe it was Owada. I think that was the name back then. She had to go through his death. I know that she also went through the death of her alter ego, where she was smashed by that some kind of construction machine. She got quit by that a few times, and then to top it off, no, actually, she also got put in a rocket and got shot into the air. That we only saw once, and that was at the beginning of the series. That's what I remember as well. But the one that had finally killed her, it was the one that Nagi was saved from, and that one had crushed her. In this anime, for some reason, they don't color the blood red. It was like so it was pink, or like a purplish pink color, and that right there finally did her in. But I'm wondering, how the heck did she actually survive all that? Because, well, more importantly, I'm actually surprised that she was actually willing to go ahead and kill herself, even though she wanted to feel the ultimate despair. They didn't want her to kill herself, but she had stopped them for changing her mind. And I found that really interesting, that she's willing to go ahead and, just kill herself off like that. But I gotta say, Junko, even though you had a reason for this, you were definitely a great villain in this series. And I'm like really surprised at that. But at the end, she died, and they all escaped, and that's when we get a huge shocker at the end. We see Mono Bear is still active, so this is definitely not over yet. But of course, after the credits, we get a very strong hint that they are also going to animate the second game, because we see another Mono Bear, but this one is a lot different. So I am definitely hoping that they are, planning on animating the second game, because I would love to see that. But overall, this anime, it was just so freaking good. I loved it a lot. Like, you guys have no idea. But as always, guys, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. And as always, you guys take it easy. I will see you all next time.